All right, good morning. Kris, CEO of Preeminent Recruitment here, and so grateful you decided to take just a few minutes to watch this short video on how you can start a recruitment agency and get clients within 45 days. Throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a short story about how two people with no prior business experience started a six-figure recruitment agency in less than 1 year. And actually, it was less than 6 months from the time that the six figures were generated. And we're going to show you how you can speed up your learning curve through tips and tricks and tools that we have available to help you get started and do such. Now, the incredible thing that I will get to here very shortly about a recruiting agency as opposed to other businesses is everybody is chasing the golden nugget, the thing that will get you rich quick, the next shiny object. Unfortunately, most of those things like drop shipping, affiliate marketing, etc., come in waves. And it's the people that are in the market first that tend to make all of the money. And that's because these are fad types of jobs. And it's not to say that people drop shipping or selling things online, for example, or doing affiliate marketing don't provide any value to the marketplace, as affiliate marketers really do help businesses grow. But the value that they add is limited, and the market has become saturated because it's become the object of focus for the get rich quickers, which we're going to talk a little bit about next, where recruitment agencies and recruiting firms are solving real world problems. And you always judge a business's future success potential by how long the industry's been in existence. And recruitment and the recruitment agency business can stretch as far back as ancient Rome, where people were recommended for positions and held up in high office through referral networks, etc. And so you got to understand that this has proof of time to show that this is a business and industry that is not going anywhere. And it's actually very hard to disrupt by technology because people like the human aspect of a person helping them find their next job, and companies like the human aspect of somebody screening applicants before they ever talk to them. But before we dive too much further into this, I want to talk a little bit about who this is not for. This is not for the people that want to get rich quick. This is not for the people unwilling to work hard. This is not for the people that lack intrinsic motivation to help others, or those who lack thick skin. Reason is, recruitment is hard. You are essentially helping people connect with people and expecting them all to be reliable. And if I've learned anything over the last 7 years after helping thousands of people, it's that people do wildly unexpected things. It's almost funny the amount of stories you have. The people that were supposed to show up for an interview who didn't show up, and they tell you that they had to get their dog a haircut. Or the people that no-show an interview because they stubbed their toe. I mean, these are real stories, things that you can't make up. And so it takes a very thick shell in order to survive in this industry. But as we're going to discuss here next, there's a lot of reward. So why start a recruitment business? You know, if it is complicated because people are people and they make bad decisions and they do crazy things, then why should you even take the risk of jumping into a recruitment business, which is going to require real hard work? Well, at the end of the day, most people, over 57% of Americans, say that they have a side hustle. And the truth is, most people's side hustle is an extension of their current job. And what that means is at your current job, you're working hard every day to make somebody else financially independent. And when you take on a side hustle, typically you're doing more of the same. You know, maybe you're working for Upwork or Fiverr, and there's nothing wrong with that. I actually think that's a great thing to be doing. I love motivated people. But what do people go to Upwork and Fiverr and all these companies to do? They go to get cheap labor to help build and grow their enterprise. So my goal for you is to change you and change your process of thinking from being someone that's making other people rich to using other people to get rich. And I don't want to use the word rich, I should say financially independent. Because yes, you can become wealthy by running and operating a recruitment business. You can even become wealthy by just being a recruiter in a recruitment agency, as I'll get to my experience pretty soon. But you need to work towards your own financial independence. Next is there's incredible profit margins with an incredibly high need. If you watch the news at all, even if you don't, it is impossible not to hear and know what's going on in the world in terms of the labor market. Every major state in the United States is having a massive labor shortage. There couldn't be a better time to get into recruitment and get paying clients. Because if you can speak knowledgeably, even if you don't have the experience, maybe you do, but even if you don't have the experience, there's never been a better time to approach somebody and say, hey, I have a person for your open position. Can I present them to you? And start a dialogue. And again, we'll discover more on how to have those conversations, but I want to show you that you have the ability to solve a real problem in a high need market. And the profit margins are incredible. Let's say you're a solopreneur or even in a partnership like myself. Your profit margins are as much as 80 to 90%. If you decided you wanted to be an Amazon dropshipper, at most your profit margins can be 5 to 20%. If you're an affiliate marketer, your profit margins are usually 5 to 15%. And as a recruiter, your profit margins are 80 to 90%. So let's say you close an average deal size of $10,000, which is very, very doable, and you close 3 deals a month for $30,000. Your overhead that month, as I'm going to show you, at most will be $1,000. And so you're talking, you made $29,000 profit on $30,000 of revenue. That is incredible. And very few businesses offer this type of opportunity. And furthermore, it allows you to start a business from scratch and self-fund yourself through your successes. Now, the last thing, and it's the part and the reason that I do what I do every single day, is it offers you the opportunity to help people, and it's very rewarding work. I make amazing connections with companies from dozens of different industries. We actually work with over 15 different industries at any given time, and sectors of industries, not companies, and over 25 to 50 companies at a given time, helping them find people to fill their jobs. And our relationship with those HR representatives is incredible, and it makes me feel rewarded when I take a lot of pressure off of an HR director, talent acquisition director at an organization, because we were able to fill a tough job for them in 2 to 3 weeks. And on the back end, think about that person that you place in that role. Some of them are unemployed and you help them find the right job. Some of them are miserable where they are. 80% of Americans hate their job. So you're helping those people, those 80%, transition into a company where they get something new and they love it for now. They might dislike the job in a year or two, but that's who we are as humans, right? But you give them the opportunity to enjoy a couple of years of their life, and it may be longer sustained. I've placed many people who love their job forever and are so grateful. And it's rewarding to be able to help people like this. And in turn, someday maybe you can teach a course like this where you're helping others figure out how they can become financially independent and solve real world problems and help people find the jobs that they want. So the big question in the room is, what if I have no experience? And this is something close to home for me, and I want to share with you a little bit about my story. So about 7 years ago, I was a substitute teacher. Yes, sitting in a classroom with middle school aged kids, working on my MBA in between classes, hearing all sorts of inappropriate things, and was relatively miserable. And if you want to talk about timing, one day I was sitting during my break period and my phone happened to ring. Now, if this call was 15 minutes earlier or 30 minutes later, I would have missed the call and my life wouldn't have ended up the way it ended up. And so I pick up this call because I had nothing else going on. And on the other end, and I don't have her approval to share her name, so I won't share that with you, was a very raspy voiced woman. And she forever changed my life, and I am grateful to her to this day. So she approached me and called me and said she found my resume on, I believe it was Career Builder, and said to me, I found your resume online. Would you be open to coming in and interviewing with XYZ recruitment company? That's not the name of the company. It's, again, I don't really want to share their name because I don't have the approval to do so. And I said to her, yeah, I'd be open to it. What is recruitment? Could you tell me more? And she said, well, in short, we help people connect with other people and get paid significant amounts of money for it. And I was amazed. I didn't know that anybody could get paid for such a thing. So I went in for the interview, met two more incredible people, and decided to accept an offer within the permanent placement division of a $100 million staffing firm. My first 6 months there were very difficult. The way we were trained was we were given a directory, a phone list of people to call. And every single day I sat down and I called through 100 to 200 person tear sheets, asking people if they wanted to work for certain hospitals and organizations. I made some great connections. I learned a lot. I helped a lot of people get connected with organizations. But within those first 6 months, I did not close a single deal. I had dozens of offers and no one wanted to accept them because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't screening people properly, wasn't asking the right questions, and really didn't know much about the hospitals. But it came on a day, my darkest day. I was looking at housing in Tennessee. I live in southern New Hampshire, right north of Boston, Massachusetts. And I looked at these houses and I looked at some jobs down there and was willing to look at jobs around $40,000, $50,000, was totally content with this. And I was like, I'm done with sales. This is horrible. And I'm getting out of here. Well, our internal recruiter happened to find my resume online, caught me, told my manager, and my manager told me with full belief in his heart that I was made for this and that I was going to make it in this organization. And lo and behold, I turned things around. After that first 6 months, I had a $100,000 month where I billed over $100,000 in gross revenue. I then proceeded in the subsequent months to, over the next few years, I should say, bill over $3.5 million and was the top recruiter at this recruiting firm for 5 years. After that, I decided that my menteeship was over. I had no longer been an apprentice. I had 20,000 hours, as Malcolm Gladwell says, that is the expert level. And I had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, $200,000 in education on marketing and sales and training and recruitment. And after spending all of this money and this time, I decided to start my own recruitment agency. And again, the first 3 months were hard, but then again, I learned some new tips and tricks that sped things up. And in less than 12 months, built a six-figure business. And actually, in the last 6 months, have made a six-figure amount. And we're growing rapidly, and I hope to double that pretty soon and eventually double it again within the next 12 months. And you don't need the experience you need. There's no experience that you need in order to get started. You just need to learn the tricks that got me from point A to point B. And as I'm going to explain next, how I was able to get somebody else from point A to point B in a very short amount of time, even without recruitment experience. So can anyone learn how to do this? And the answer is yes. I taught my wife with zero recruitment experience, actually her background is in retail, how to recruit and how to generate clients. And not only clients that will pay you on a contingent basis, which we'll discuss at another point and over our call if you choose to do so, but not on a basis where you deliver value in advance, actually companies paying you upfront to help them find people. And she was able to close 3 recruitment deals, averaging between $5,000 and $10,000 a piece, and a retained client who paid us a few $1,000s upfront, and in addition to that, pay us between $8,000 to $12,000 per placement thereafter for entry-level positions. So you do not need prior recruitment experience, and that was in 1 month, excuse me. And so you don't need prior recruitment experience in order to get started. So you're probably sitting here wondering, where do I begin? Because you're probably getting a little bit excited at the things that I'm saying. And if you are getting excited, this is probably for you. It's not for everybody, but if you're sitting here and the idea of helping people find jobs and making anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 per person that you help sounds rewarding to you, then I need you to do something for me. I need you to look at the box to the right here, and you're going to find a section where you can add your contact information. Please fill out your name and email. Myself, Kris Tonis, will personally email you within 24 hours to schedule a call with you. This call is absolutely free, And there will be no hard sales pitch during this call. You have my word for this. You can hang up on me if I try to start selling you in a way that you feel uncomfortable. This call will simply be to help you identify your goals and tell you how you can get started on your own recruitment business. I will give you enough tools during this call for you to get started on your own. Or if you choose, I will also tell you how you can partner with me. I call this a DWI. Not a DWI, DWI, which is done with you. And I will show you how we can together work on getting you started, helping you land your first client, and how to find candidates for those jobs right out of the gate. Now, for this call, this introductory call, in the near future, I will be charging $500 consulting fees in order to just walk people through how they can get started and identify their goals and everything to that nature that will be covered in the call. But for the short term, it's absolutely free because my hopes are that I talk to enough great people that a few dozen people out there take me up on this call, get out there and help people find jobs. Because if I can help 12 or more people get started in a recruitment agency and they place one person per month minimum, then I myself am helping 12 times 12 people find new jobs on a consistent basis. And that feels good for me. And also, I know that if I have 12 calls set up, there's a handful of you that will want to work with me one-on-one, and that's great too. And obviously, it keeps our lights on and keeps us being able to deliver content for free to people. And we can help you scale up to, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, maybe even $100,000 a month, because I've certainly had those months. I do want to share with you one last thing. My last year working inside of an agency, I was able to bill single-handedly over $1 million in 7 months. $1 million in 7 months. If I had been working on my own that year, right before the pandemic hit, I would have made over $1 million profit. And that was only in a 7-month window of time. There's a lot of money in recruitment, and the things that I can teach you are very simple to implement. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of skill, but it can all be learned, and it can be learned quickly. I know with my guidance and with the resources I can connect you with that you can get started very, very quickly and get clients fast. If all of this sounds good to you, please, like I said, fill out your contact information. Let's have a short call, and I will talk with you soon, my friend.